T here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn, the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. This movie right here. Alright, ghouls and gals. Like every new movie review, I'm going to keep it short, sweet, simple, and to the motherfucking point. Alright, let's get it started. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, or the Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. There, I know I got it right that time, right? Did I? Whatever. Okay, Birds of Prey stars all these lovely actresses right here. And actors. Alright, let's just get right into it. Birds of Prey is it says it right there in the title. The film's about the Birds of Prey.
Well, obviously.
Oh wait, no it isn't. It's about this chick right here. Which, duh, it's Harley Quinn. Nobody knows these chicks here. We know this chick right here. And that's fine. That's totally fucking fine. Because Harley Quinn is established now. We want to see more of Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie? Is it Margot Robbie or Margot Robbie? I like Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie, we want to see more of her as Harley Quinn. And we're barely getting introduced to these chicks right here. Which I hope we see some more of them because, I mean, I have to say, the Birds of Prey in this film, they were actually pretty cool. I mean, Harley Quinn, as you know, isn't part of the Birds of Prey. She kind of just like pops up every now and again if you're a fan of the comic books. But these women right here are more or less your lineup for the Birds of Prey, give or take a Batgirl every now and again. And I have to say, they utilize them very well. Although I will say I wish they used them a little more. I wish these characters interacted with each other a little more because Harley Quinn only really interacts with Cassandra Cain. And we'll get into my beef with Cassandra Cain here in a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, it's Harley Quinn and Cassandra Cain that are interacting with each other, while we have Renee Montoya, who's played by Rosie Perez, and we have Huntress, who's played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, a.k.a. Ramona Flowers, a.k.a. yes, that Ramona Flowers, everybody's favorite manic dream, pixie girl, or whatever the fuck. And it's also played by Black Canary, who's also played by this actress right here. And we also have Roman Sionis, who's played by Ewan McGregor, and we have Zaz, who's played by this actor right here. And all of these characters are kind of off doing their own thing, with Harley Quinn only really ever interacting with Cassandra Cain and Roman Sionis and Victor Zaz, and occasionally Black Canary. And it's only towards the very end of the film that all of these female characters come together and they're just like, alright, let's go and fuck these guys up for X amount of reason. Which they kind of reveal that well, not kind of, they do. They reveal that reason in the trailers. It's actually this scene right here.
Yes, we all want to die very unpleasant deaths. We're going to have to work together.
Sure.
So yeah, that's pretty much what draws them all together is not Victor's ass. Well, I have Victor's ass too, but to a more further extent, Roman Sionis. And I have to say, I mean, the film is fun. It's a fun, sexy, action-packed ride that is drenched and soaked in glitter and neon, and for that, I enjoyed it. I really have to say that I enjoyed this film. I mean, trust me, I was part of the majority that was like, fuck the Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn movie. That looks stupid. And then like I saw the second trailer and I was just like, maybe this isn't stupid. And I was like, it's not stupid. So yeah, that was me walking out like, yes, it's not stupid. It was fucking fun. I had a lot of fun with this fucking movie. And as weird as it fucking sounds, Harley Quinn is like fucking John Wick in this movie. This movie has a lot of parallels with John Wick. For one, for a big bulk of the movie, it's everybody against Harley Quinn, the world against Harley Quinn, as it is in John Wick 3 Parabellum, and the whole world is against John Wick. And also the fight scenes, they were like very reminiscent of John Wick in the sense that Harley Quinn is using like everyday objects to beat the shit out of like henchmen and thugs, and as John Wick does in the third movie, he uses various household items and everyday objects to like kill people. And I noticed that midway through the film, I'm like, Harley Quinn's kind of slowly turning into like a John Wick badass, and I'm here for it. I'm really fucking here for it. And the way that these action scenes are filmed are so like beautiful. One of my biggest beefs about action films is the way that they're filmed. Sometimes you get action scenes where it's like super jittery and like sped up and it looks all weird and choppy and shit. And in the Birds of Prey movie, they do speed up some stuff and they do slow down some stuff. They utilize slow motion as well as fast motion, but they do it well. They do it well. It's like weaved in seamlessly, so it doesn't look all like a fucking 8th grader fucking edited the film. It looks good. It looks really good, and they have a lot of action sequences. This movie is never boring. It never lets up. There's never a dull moment in this film, even when they're not fighting. Harley Quinn is being essentially like a cartoon character, and you're just like finding like the little things that she does that are funny. And the film is actually pretty funny and quirky. Like there's some actual laugh out loud moments in this film, and there's also some jokes that fall flat. I mean, they all can't be winners. That can be said for any film that has any sort of humor in it. There's going to be a couple of times where that joke falls flat and you're just like, eh. But for the most part, Harley Quinn was funny. I mean, there's even a fucking hilarious gag with Huntress, a running gag with Huntress. And that's all the good things that I liked about the film. Now we're going to get into some of the things that I did not like about the film. So be warned, there might be a little bit of spoilers, very minor spoilers, but just want to say this. What the fuck did you do to Cassandra Cain? Why? Cassandra Cain isn't some, pardon my French, chubby Asian girl that like is a pickpocket. Cassandra Cain is a fucking badass assassin that later takes up the Batgirl mantle, and not Harley Quinn's little buddy cop type chick. And I hated that they did that with Cassandra Cain. I kept like waiting and waiting for them to be like, oh yeah, and she's also a badass assassin, and it never fucking happened. She just kind of like cowered in a corner and was like, ooh, like every 2 seconds, and I hated that they did that with Cassandra Cain. And another thing that I didn't like, and it's a very small thing, it's 2 small things involving the Black Canary character. One, they never explain to us how she has this amazing fighting ability. It would have been so fucking awesome and such a fucking so good fan service if they would have showed just a 30-second clip of her backstory. Just give us Wildcat. Give us her training with Wildcat. Or even show us like a little throwaway 10-second scene where she's like walking out of a gym and it says like Wildcat boxing gym or something like that. For those of you that don't know, Black Canary is trained by the Silver Age, or I guess Bronze Age, character Wildcat. That's where she learns all of her fighting technique and her fighting skills from. And it would have been so awesome, and it would have been so easy to put it in there. To put that she's walking out of a gym that says Wildcat Gym, or even show Wildcat. Like show her training with Wildcat or something. That would have been super awesome, but they don't. They just don't give you any explanation as to why she's good at fighting or anything like that. And another thing with Black Canary again is she never uses her power, or she uses it in the film, but she only uses it at one time in the film. And all the characters in the film are like, you know what you have to do, Canary? Go ahead and do it, Canary. But then I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. How do all of them know that you have this ability? Because from what we have seen, nobody knows that you can do this. Or if they do know that you can do this, they very loosely reference that you can do this. So that bothered me throughout the film. I was like, how do they know that she can do that? Again, 2 very small gripes with the film, but they bothered me, and they are big plot holes. And they could have been fixed so easily. It could have been fixed so easily. Like, Harley Quinn could have maybe said like, oh, I heard about you in the news. You have like a killer voice or something. Something like that. That would have just connected everything, and it would have been fucking perfect. Also, I didn't like the casting for Renee Montoya. I like Rosie Perez, don't get me wrong, but Rosie Perez is not Renee Montoya. Renee Montoya needed to be just somebody else. I mean, I'm not saying that she did a bad job in the film, but that is some bad casting. Rosie Perez is not Renee Montoya. I'm sorry. She just isn't. And I feel like we could have added some other characters. It would have been cool to see maybe Commissioner Gordon, because they did talk about the Commissioner a couple of times in this film. And it would have been cool to maybe they allude to some other crime bosses when they're talking about Black Mask. Maybe they bring up the Riddler. Maybe they bring up Two-Face. Maybe they bring up Oswald Cobblepot. Hell, maybe they'll even bring up Roman Falcone. But they didn't. They didn't. And that bothered me a lot. But one thing that was good about this film was that it was a ground level, for better or worse, a superhero film. And we haven't had a ground level superhero film in a long time. Every superhero film that's come out in recent memory has been like some end of the world fucking crazy cataclysmic. What am I trying to say here?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Some crazy like end of the world cataclysmic event, and Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey isn't that film. It's basically one woman trying to step out on her own, trying to make a life for herself, and trying to show everybody else that, hey, I can do this shit on my own. I don't need no man. So that's essentially this film, along with a couple of subplots, you know, crime thriller subplots. And I enjoyed it. I was there for it. I really was there for it. And I have to say that this is a win for DC. I mean, this film is better than the fucking Justice League, which featured Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Cyborg and The Flash. And this film is better than Suicide Squad, which featured the actual fucking Joker. So this film, I have to give it a round of applause. It deserves a round of applause because it did something that I didn't think it could do. It was actually good.
Good job.
So for that, I'm going to give The Birds of Prey a 7.5 out of 10. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you fly the nest and you go out to watch it in theaters. I'm Ryan T, and I'll see you in the next one.